Welcome to DOWL Team Talk. I'm Stewart Osgood, the President and CEO of DOWL, and today I'm going to participate in a series called Ask the Boss, where questions were submitted by our employees in 4 separate categories. Category 1 is professional development, 2 is DOWL's future, 3 is internal management, and 4 is client management. Today we're going to focus on the professional development category. And there'll be one personal question tossed in to keep me on my toes. Who were some early influences for you? Tell us about your mentors. I think that I have had many people who've influenced my career along the way, starting with my older siblings when I was young, who helped me out and taught me some of the basics of life, as well as early in my career, I had bosses and supervisors that helped me out along the way. They were my mentor and they set a good example for me and probably didn't even know how much I had looked up to them and took my cues from them. And then later in my career, many of the people at DOWL that are in the audience here today have been my mentors and coaches and have supported me in my career development. One thing I would say to young people is I think it's important to always learn from people around you, and you can learn from a number of people, both your peers and your supervisors and bosses, and always try to do that. What personal and career advice do you give to graduating college students and/or those who hope to work at DOWL? I would tell people that I think it's important you choose a job and an environment where you're with smart people that are ethical, that share the same values that you do, and that there's room for you to grow and advance and always be just slightly uncomfortable in your positions. I think it's important that you not be kind of slated into a position with limited opportunities for growth, and that's one of the things that I think is great about DOWL, is that we're constantly expanding our horizons and pushing people to that next level of continuous development and involvement. So I hope that we create that category or that we create that situation for folks to always feel just a little bit professionally uncomfortable. What are the primary characteristics of successful employees at DOWL? I would say that that being a team player is very important. Being the youngest of 7 children and growing up on a dairy farm, it was instilled in me quite early that we were all in this together. We were part of a clan, a tribe, a village, and we were either going to succeed or fail together. And I think it's important that all of us maintain that team atmosphere. This isn't an individual sport, and I think that people who are really individually focused on their own grandiose visions of what they are typically don't fit all that well into an organization like ours. So team players. Pat Summitt, who's a legendary basketball coach at Tennessee, told a story that whenever she recruited a women's basketball player, she said, "There's 2 things I don't do. I don't do selfish and I don't do lazy." And I think maybe that applies to DOWL as well. What is DOWL doing to prepare for the next generation? I think this means the next generation of leadership, and as we grow, we have certainly formal programs like FOP and the training that we do, our elite program, to bring people up and create upward mobility for people. But I also think there's a lot of interesting things going on below the scenes. Again, the growth of the firm, the expansion of the firm. We've got people moving around from office to take on new responsibilities, kind of playing up a weight class, if you will. So as a project engineer, you start to be drawn up into project management. And then as a project manager, you start to be drawn up into having responsibilities at the executive level. So that's how we prepare people for the next generation, by not holding people back and always making them feel slightly uncomfortable of where they are in what they're contributing to the firm. Should I join a professional organization? If so, why? I would encourage anyone to pick a couple of organizations to be involved with, whether it's ACEC or ASCE, or if it's geology or environmental focused or management. The one thing I would say is don't just go to the luncheons and sit at the tables. Get involved. Join one of the committees, volunteer, take a leadership position, and make sure that you're truly involved. You're not just a participant. And I think you can get a lot of skills and develop a lot of your skills by doing that. What is your best interview question, and how do you hire? I don't know if this is actually a question, but I always try to talk to people about, tell me a time when you made a mistake, when you were wrong, how you righted it, and then what you learned from that experience. And I ask it in 3 parts. First of all, I think it's important that we be humble in who we are. None of us are mistake-free and error-free. So yeah, I made a mistake here. This is how I fixed it, And if I had to do it all over again, this is the way I would change the situation so I could perform better. I think that as an adult and as a human being, it's important to be humble and to be able to admit that you've made mistakes and learn from them. The last question is, what does professionalism mean to you? And this is one of those things that's tough to answer. In a way, it's kind of, we know them when we see them. But I think I would say that it's your ability to lead yourself. It's the way, certainly there's an educational component to it, but there's the way, how do you present yourself to the world? How do you demonstrate your ethics? How do you demonstrate that you take your job seriously? How do you demonstrate that you actually are on an upward trajectory and that you want to go to the next level, that you are comfortable being uncomfortable? And I think that's an important aspect of professionalism, is knowing how to lead yourself. Because only then can you lead a team, or lead an office, or lead a company. Well, thank you for joining us today. That concludes session 1. We will have 3 other Ask the Boss sessions on DOWL's future, internal management, and client management. If you have suggestions on topics for DOWL Team Talks, please submit them to info@dowl.com. Thank you.